Hello and welcome to Black Money Daily, economic news from our point of view. We release a podcast every weekday at lunchtime, so don't forget to subscribe. And now, here's the news. Forget the election. A survey finds another top threat to the economy. 44% of people polled by Bankrate.com last month cited COVID-19 as a top threat to the economy in the next 6 months. Meanwhile, about 1 in 3 participants said that the upcoming presidential election was the top hazard to the economy. During the last presidential election, for example, 61% of participants pointed to the election outcome as the biggest economic threat. So things have definitely shifted. Lawmakers have failed to reach an accord on comprehensive relief measures, including a second round of stimulus payments and continued boost to unemployment insurance. Less certainty around income has also caused households to tighten up their purse strings, which hinders economic growth. As a result, people have curtailed their spending, and that's the reason why they believe that the top threat to the economy is the virus itself. Speaking of the election, Ice Cube has officially met with both the Democrats and the Republicans to discuss his contract with Black America. The contract includes bank lending reform, a government-funded trust account at birth starting at a $1,000 contribution for each Black person, a one-time interest-free loan for home ownership, and more. Ice Cube has not endorsed either candidate. He remains firm that his actions are bigger and have a bigger purpose. He responded to some critics who had an issue with him meeting with the Republicans, especially. Some people were disappointed that he met with them. However, Ice Cube has said that both parties contacted him and he made the decision to speak with both. Billionaire Robert Smith has reached a $140 million tax settlement with the Department of Justice. You may remember the billionaire's name as the man who paid off the student loans for the graduating class of Morehouse in 2019. Well, Smith allegedly failed to pay taxes on about $200 million in assets that moved through offshore accounts tied to Robert Brockman, a Houston software businessman. Smith has allegedly been on the radar of the IRS since 2014, according to Bloomberg. That year, the billionaire reportedly approached a federal agency seeking amnesty from prosecution under a program to Americans which did not report offshore assets. The IRS, however, declined Smith's request. The agency reportedly turns down taxpayers if it already knew that they had not reported offshore accounts. In September 2019, Smith's company, Vista Equity Partners, was hit with a lawsuit that accused it of self-dealing, and Smith cooperated with the Department of Justice and the IRS criminal tax investigation to avoid prosecution. A conviction would have forced him out of his Vista Equity Partners management firm, a $65 million fine, and a prison sentence. Today's show is sponsored by the 10K Project. We do have an upcoming event. If you need help repairing your personal credit on Thursday, October 15th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, we have a credit repair specialist coming to speak with our community. You can visit the10kproject.com to register. There's no charge to attend. A judge has ruled that $1,200 stimulus checks should go to incarcerated individuals. The $1,200 stimulus checks authorized by Congress via the CARES Act did not exclude incarcerated people from receiving those payments. When the government began to deploy the cash, however, it reversed those rules and started to withhold payments from prisoners. Now, California Judge Phyllis J. Hamilton of the U.S. District Court for the Northern District of California recently ruled that the government should not withhold these checks from people solely because they are incarcerated. Almost 85,000 prisoners received $100 million in stimulus checks earlier this year before the government reversed course and decided they were ineligible. The court also ordered the IRS to correct related information on its website. There are roughly 1.5 million incarcerated people in the United States, and many of them meet the requirements for stimulus payments, according to Yaman Salahi, partner at the law firm of Leaf, Cabrasser, Hyman, and Bernstein, which represented the prisoners in this case. The government has indicated that it may appeal this decision. Parents are spending big on private tutors during the pandemic, which is deepening the educational divide. The push for private education comes as parents increasingly fear their children may fall behind due to lack of in-person instruction. Parents are reportedly spending upwards of $100 per hour for private tutors to help their kids who are still adjusting to a new type of schooling amid the pandemic. Jennifer Bruce, an educational expert and co-founder of Private Education Advisory Service in New York City, stated that parents are feeling like online education simply isn't working. They are worried. One of the solutions that Provost, who oversees the private educational consulting company, has seen is something called learning pods. She says this type of individualized learning, where a tutor will go to a family's home to teach a handful of children, has become a common trend throughout the nation. We suggest if you work in the area of education that now's the time to start or grow that business, because apparently there's tons of opportunity out here. Today is Tech Thursday, and now I'm going to pass the show over to our CTO, Talisha Shine, for her tech tip of the week.
Hello, I'm Talisha Shine, Chief Technology Officer here at the 10K Project, bringing you a tech tip for the day. This tip is in regards to the availability of newly upgraded functionality to your daily meetings. Zoom has been the go-to platform for businesses, schools, and even healthcare providers since the pandemic began, and is now extending its necessity by launching new application integrations called Zaps. They are third-party applications that integrate and afford easy access to information and collaboration right within Zoom meetings. The initial launch is set with 35 Zaps to include applications such as Atlassian, Dropbox, HubSpot, Salesforce, and Slack. They are also launching on Zoom, an integrated online events platform. There's even expectations for education partner integrations like Coursera and Kahoot, all being made available by end of year, with the first round of Zaps being made available to all Zoom users on both the free and paid versions.
Thanks so much, Talisha. That's today's podcast. We'd love to hear your thoughts and your comments. Don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe, and tell a friend or two about Black Money Daily.